And the gang's all here. Hey, Jimmy, Renee, Ron, Paul. Paul's vanishing. Leon, you got a joke? Hey, Larry.
Hey, Bobby. Hi, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good morning, Bobby and Rabbi Jim and everybody.
So I just watched the end of Night Court. If anybody remembers that, I'm still cracking up from the last line. That's not Herb T. That's Herb. I guess nobody saw that episode.
No, wasn't a fan.
Bum, bum, bum. Jimmy, are you leading?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you outside? Or you just got a nice background?
No, I'm outside. Can you hear
Harry,
me?
how is Paula?
Did you ask me?
Yes, this is Ron. Ask how Paula is.
Yeah, she's fine.
Good.
She's doing well. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Sure.
Larry, have you been able to see her through this period?
By Zoom, and then I visited twice, but they only allow you to, I can't go inside their facilities.
Wow.
We have to just be at the facility. I brought dinner a couple times and we take a little bit of a walk around.
Okay. Okay.
So is everybody recovered from the other night? All night teachings?
Well, I didn't make it all night. I made it for 5 hours.
It wasn't all night. We wrapped up about 2 a.m., I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel bad. I left about 1:15.
Okay, so
I gotta do.
I'm going to open up with the prayer, and then we'll continue with, if we were a little more patient, we could solve all the problems, but we'll do the best we can. וערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני המלמד תורה לעמו Israel.
Man.
Oh God, make the words of your Torah pleasant on our lips and our lips of all of those that come into our screen, into our circle, so that we can spend the time in learning for the pure pleasure of it. Blessed are you who teaches to your people in this fashion. Amen.
Amen.
Man.
Amen.
So the other night, there was a Chag Sameach, everybody, too. Also, we're still in Shavuos. The other night, the Tikkun, I had tracked down the origin of the custom of the Tikkun, and I wrote the story about it. It's a really interesting story, and it takes a good half hour, or between 25 minutes and a half hour to do it if I go fast and minimize the music. And give me a half hour, so I'm on to do it right. But and not editorialize and stuff, just stay in the story and tell the story. So when I was done, I felt I had this nagging feeling that I had cheated and been cheated. There was so much present in our reality now that I didn't talk about, I didn't get at, I just told the story, The story is pure and beautiful and all that, but I still felt cheated and cheating, and I'm not accustomed to that feeling. So I later, and I got off. I was going to hang around. I did my thing and I left. And it was nagging at me, you know, the whole evening, and I couldn't sleep. So I don't know, got to be about, I don't know, 11:30. I knew I was going to be able to sleep. So I went back on, and somebody said, "Hey, will you teach something?" I said, "Yeah." So I brought up some things that really dealt with the time, you know, what we're living with, and the fact that we were doing this tikkun this way, like this, how abnormal that is, and what's happening in our land, how abnormal that is, and all of the challenges of being alive right now, how abnormal they all are. So I have some pieces about that. And I started off my little session like at midnight or wherever it was with those pieces. And you know what? It was better. I felt like I got this like secret redemption that I didn't expect to get. I was able to pull out of it. I got the gift of being able to articulate something about what we're living in that is so not normal. And I'm going to start with that this morning also. It's just so not normal. So there's so many conditions now we can talk about. In addition to the purity of what we're going to learn in the Torah this morning, from the Torah this morning. You know, when we were in the book of Leviticus, the principle is let the pure come and occupy themselves with the pure. And for myself, I used to understand that as the way it's generally understood. Let the children come and occupy themselves. The children who are the purest come and occupy themselves with the purest part of our learning, which is Leviticus, which is Vayikra. That's usually how it's understood. And then I came to understand a different thing. Let the pure come and occupy themselves with the pure, that, yeah, there is a pure aspect of learning in our holy book. In our book, there's a pure aspect of learning. And then when you enter into learning on this level, there is a purity of approach. There is a purity of the notion. There is a purity of the effort that is the pure occupying themselves with the pure. And that's for all of us who do learning in this elevated way. So it's both in the world and out of the world, both. And actually, that's one way that I understand the notion of Kedusha, that is generally translated as holiness. Holiness is a cliche, but Kedusha is a very heavy concept that indicates you have one foot in the particular or in the present, let us say, and you have one foot in the universal, in the deathless, in the timeless. You have one foot in each. It's both. It's not an either or concept. It's a both concept. You are both present for the realities of your life, and you are also present for the universals that is not new, that is present and always, yes. What? Excuse me, somebody's pulling at me here. Okay. So that's the notion of Kedusha. That's the notion I hear in this kind of study. When the study is pure, it occupies ourselves by attaching ourselves to both the universals in our study and also the particulars in the study that we're living with when we breathe every day and turn on the radio and see what's happening in the street, etc. Both. And that's the level of learning that I was introduced to when I was a young man. I was not introduced to that level of yearning as a child. I had to mostly unlearn what I had learned as a child. But as an adult, I had a series of excellent teachers that introduced me to another level of learning that was much, much different, much more elevated.